Now in its 10th year, this is GabNet. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Hey everybody, live from Harlem in New York City. This is Alex Bennett with the Ramble. And I am Alex Bennett. Hi to all of you. Hope you had a nice weekend and a nice first part of the week. Well, it wasn't a nice part of the week, actually, first part of the week. I'll tell you. The reason I'm starting off the show tonight with me is that I have been just, how can we call it, really depressed? Oh, what's new, Alex? You're really depressed? Well, I'm really depressed because I just couldn't get away from all the nonsense that's been happening in the last couple of days regarding our new president. We started out with the inauguration. We then went to him holding a whole bunch of events in which he, like a TV star, was signing documents. And then the next day, there were more documents being signed. And before we know it, he had almost, 100 different documents signed? And what they amounted to was the dismantling of the American democracy. Okay? Now, granted, a lot of the things that he signed, these are called, what do you call it? They're statement. They're things he writes and says should happen. Okay, God, my mind is just fried over this whole thing. But anyway, he signed all these papers and bringing into law supposedly a bunch of things, which a lot of them are not going to fly. Okay, so don't get worried about some of them. But I don't know. I just got very depressed over this whole thing. And I can't stop being depressed about it because I see that at least at the end of my life, the end of democracy as we know it in this country, or there's going to be an attempt to overthrow the democracy. And I don't think I'm overstating things. I think I'm just simply saying things as they appear to me and as I see them happening. What I'm going to do, first of all, because I think it really sets the table nicely on this subject, is the fine senator from the state of Vermont, Bernie Sanders, put out a video the other day, which I saw, and I said, I got to play this for my audience. And I don't think there's any copyright infringement or anything here by playing it, because after all, I'm sure Bernie Sanders would like as many human beings as possible to see this. These are his comments, and I want you to listen to them because I think they're very, very important. And don't think of them as coming out of the mouth of a socialist. They're coming out of the mouth of a decent, thinking human being who wants nothing but the best for the citizens of this country. Listen to what he has to say, and then I will comment on it afterwards, and maybe later on the show you'll want to comment on it too. Here's Bernie.
I was at the Trump inauguration yesterday, and needless to say, I disagree with much of what he had to say. But what really struck me, however, is not what he said, which was not surprising given his rhetoric, but what he didn't say, The simple truth is that Donald Trump gave a major speech, the first speech of his second presidency, and ignored virtually every important issue facing the working families of this country. How crazy is that? Our healthcare system is broken, is dysfunctional, and it's wildly expensive. Not one word from Trump about how he is going to address the healthcare crisis. We pay by far the highest prices in the world for prescription drugs, sometimes 10 times more than the people in other countries. And 1 out of 4 Americans are unable to afford the prescriptions that their doctors prescribe. Not one word in his speech on the high cost of prescription drugs. We have 800,000 Americans who are homeless, and millions of people spending 50 or 60% of their limited income on housing. We have a major housing crisis in America. Everybody knows it. And Trump, in his inaugural address, did not devote one word to it. Today in America, we have more income and wealth inequality than we have ever had. The wealthiest 3 people in America now own more wealth than the bottom half of our society. But Trump had nothing to say, not one word, about the growing gap between the very rich and everybody else. And maybe, just maybe, that's because he had those 3 people, the 3 wealthiest people in our country, sitting right behind them at his inauguration. And I should add that those 3 people, if you can believe it, and this really is unbelievable, saw their wealth increase by more than $233 billion since the November elections. How's that? $233 billion increase in wealth for the 3 wealthiest people. No wonder they were sitting right behind Donald Trump at his inauguration. They couldn't be happier. During his inaugural speech, Trump did not have one word to say about how we're going to address the planetary crisis of climate change. The last 10 years have been the warmest years ever recorded, and extreme weather disturbances and natural disasters are taking place all over the world, from Los Angeles to India, across Europe to North Carolina. Not one word from Trump about climate change, except, of course, to make it clear that he intends to make this horrific situation even worse with drill, baby, drill. Just brilliant. In the coming months and years, our job is not just to respond to every absurd statement that Donald Trump makes. Our job is to stay focused on the issues that are of importance to the working families of our country, and in fact are widely supported by the American people. Let me just mention a few of them. Yes, healthcare is a human right, and we must join every other major country in guaranteeing healthcare to all people through a Medicare for All single-payer program. Healthcare is a human right. Yes, we must take on the greed of Big Pharma and substantially lower the cost of prescription drugs in this country. Yes, we must build millions of units of affordable housing and low-income housing. Yes, we must make sure that all of our young people have the ability to get a higher education by making public colleges and universities tuition-free. Yes, we must work with the global community to combat climate change by cutting carbon emissions and transforming our energy system away from fossil fuel and into sustainable energy. Yes, we must pass legislation to raise the absurdly low federal minimum wage of $7.25 an hour to a living wage of $17 an hour. Anybody who works 40 hours a week in this country should not be living in poverty. Yes, we must pass the PRO Act and make it easier for workers to join trade unions and grow the trade union movement in America. Yes, in order to help fund the needs of working families in this country, we must demand that the wealthiest people in this country, including those individuals sitting right beside Donald Trump at his inaugural, start paying their fair share of taxes. Yes, we must end a corrupt campaign finance system which allows a handful of billionaires to buy elections and move us rapidly into an oligarchic form of society. Bottom line, as we enter the new Trump presidency, we have got to remain focused. We cannot panic. No matter how many executive orders he signs, and no matter how many absurd statements he makes, our goal remains the same. We have got to educate, we have got to organize, we have got to put pressure on Congress to do the right things. And by the way, with Republicans only holding a 3 or 4 seat advantage in the House, we can stop them time and time again if we are organized. Finally, my friends, we have got to fight to create an America based on economic, social, racial, and environmental justice. That's what we've got to work on. Let's go forward. Let's do it. Thank you.
And that was Bernie Sanders, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think you can disagree with what he has to say, okay? It is really, it's a wonderful thing he said there, and I think it sums it all up, you know? It isn't a question of the fact that he's a socialist and he kind of believes in a lot of these things. It's a fact that we are Americans, and we have a country in which we pay taxes, and we pay taxes so we can then run a government, okay? It's our government. It's not their government. I mean, Trump is acting like this is his government. And the word I was looking for was executive orders. Let's think for a moment about the executive orders this son of a bitch, if I can put it plainly, and if Mark Zuckerberg doesn't prevent me from saying so by banning this off of Facebook. It's just amazing that we are at a point in our history where, as he said, these 3 people are really running everything. These 3 people, Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, and what's his name? Oh, God. Who's the other? Oh, yeah, Amazon. What's his name? Oh, God. I should not even be doing this. I can't remember names anymore. It's terrible. Anyway, I will remember them in a moment, okay? When I'm pressured to come up with a name lately, I can't come up with a name. But when I'm not pressured, it comes right out of me. Anyway, you've got the head of Facebook, you got the head of Amazon, you've got Elon Musk, who, by the way, has taken up residency at the White House, okay? And maybe Kevin is giving me that other name, okay? And I'm going to hate myself for it, okay? No, I guess not. I guess not. Okay. Well, anyway, the fact is that these guys are, they were all there, okay? And here's the problem that I have, okay? I like buying stuff, you know? I use Amazon all the time, almost everything. Even if I want a Band-Aid, I order it from Amazon because it's easy, all right? Bezos is the guy I was thinking of. Thank you very much, Kevin, for sending that to me. Oh, God. Anyway, the point I'm making is that these people there are a few others too, by the way. I resent kind of having now to buy from Amazon, okay, because of the way they went in and kissed Trump's ass. You know, these were people that in the past have said negative things about him, and all of a sudden now we're all for him, and here we are sitting on the dais at the inauguration. Also there was, of course, Elon Musk. I have no intention of ever buying a Tesla now, and I don't know that I was before. There are a lot of other choices besides Tesla, and I would suggest that if you don't like what's going on, you do not buy a Tesla. And if you're going to go on a rocket, don't take one of his, okay? Also, this year he's making a TV set, which looks to be really good. And I just won't be able to bring myself to buy it, okay? Because it's Elon Musk, okay? Every day I put up stuff, and I put this program up on Facebook. I don't know how much longer I can keep doing that. It kind of gets to me. And then, are you ready for this? Who else was up there? And this is the one that really bothers me. Tim Cook. Now, of course, Tim Cook, as you know, is the head of Apple. He's the CEO, chief executive officer, whatever, of Apple. I guess my whole life, I have Apple in my ecosphere. I have a watch that's made by Apple. See there? I got a iPhone that's Apple. I've got the machine that I'm doing, the computer that I'm doing the show on tonight is an Apple product. And I have been a great supporter of Apple products over the years because initially I was all for PCs and everything. And then one day I started using Apples and I realized how great they really were. I don't know if I can buy another Apple product because Tim Cook was on that dais as well. And he's the one that should be the most ashamed of being there. And I'll tell you why. Tim Cook is gay. I'm not saying anything out of school. Everybody knows he's gay. He doesn't hide the fact that he's gay. And that's fine. I have nothing against that. What I have against Tim Cook is the fact that he was kissing Trump's ass that day. He was sitting on that dais, on that inauguration dais, the main stage, as it were, for the inauguration, and he was there, and he is gay, and yet look at what Trump has talked about. We're only going to have male and female. Those are only going to be the two things we're going to accept. And he went on and on and on. Tim Cook, if you're listening to me, this guy is no good for the people who you call your people. I mean, come on, you're gay. And don't you want all people gay to have a feeling of being able to express their sexuality without the kind of horrible situation that Trump is creating? He doesn't care about you. You're gay. He doesn't care at all. You can't have a pronoun if you want it. You've got to be either Mr. or you got to be Mrs. or Miss, and that's it. He signed an executive order to that fact. Okay. Now that bothers me enough. Okay, there are all kinds of things I can't do. I even can't use YouTube because the head of Google was on that stand as well. They were all there kissing the ring. Okay, and this is somebody who's never had your best interest at heart, who has railed against you time and time again, and all of a sudden you're kissing the ring. And you're making him feel like he's the biggest shit in town, okay? It bothers me. It bothers me greatly. But what even bothers me is how can you people out there who voted for Donald Trump go for somebody who today signed an executive order that released back onto the streets 1,500 criminals? Now, these happen to be people, most of them, who were involved in January the 6th. And some of them are, quite frankly, dangerous people. And as they were being let out, they started saying things that will definitely scare the crap out of you. It was just amazing that he let these people out. People who literally had hit policemen, had hurt them, had, I mean, he was doing they were doing all the stuff that was horrible. And I just don't know how to express it. You know, it used to be a time when I was younger where I could be a little more glib about this and I could speak about it without having a problem getting all my words out in the right order and so on and so forth. But I happen to be 85 years old, and it's a little harder now. But it just bothers me that we have now been back on the street. Our 1,500 people, most of them real criminals. I mean, they hit police. You know, there were 5 policemen who have died as a result of January 6th, as the result of what these people did. And all of a sudden, they're getting out of jail. Now, there's one guy, I can't remember his name now, but he was the guy who was the gatekeeper for a black site, which, among other things, sold drugs, okay, and sold software and programs that could be used to hack the internet. And it's claimed by many people that he was responsible for the death of more people than just about any single person because of the stuff he promoted and sold on his site. He was pardoned today. Now, I'm sorry, you know, I guess I'm wrong. You know, I guess I'm wrong because, and I have a sincere feeling I may be wrong, because there was something like 51% of the voting public that voted for this guy and believe in him and believe that everything he's doing right now is okay. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I just don't see it, you know? Maybe I'm just a Trump hater. I'm quite the opposite, actually. I'm a Trump supporter. I'm a Trump supporter to this extent that I wish that him nothing but well, and that he does good for this country, and that he's going to be a great president. But so far in 2 days, he's completely unearthed the democracy in which we live. And I guess he's not going to be that kind of president, huh? So, you know, I only wish the worst for this guy. You know, I won't say what I feel here about what happens, but I think if someday it's his judgment day and there is some place called hell, that he rots in it forever, because he's made people's lives a living hell in this country. And today, he did all of it. He signed over 100 different executive orders, all of which we got rid of. We're not part of the World Health Organization any longer. The Paris Accords no longer. I think we're not part of NATO anymore, are we? I don't know. It's just terrible. It's just terrible. I mean, you don't come in and try to dismantle what your predecessor accomplished, okay? And let's be honest about it, folks. Biden accomplished a lot. And he accomplished a lot more than most people would make a big deal about. But it's true. He did great stuff, you know. And he wasn't, you know, they talk about how he wasn't taking care of the borders. Do you know that under Biden, and Biden never bragged about this because we would have felt kind of bad about it, but Biden deported more foreign people than Trump ever did while he was in office. In Biden's 4 years, he had massive deportations of people who just shouldn't have been here. All right? But what he didn't do is he didn't separate families, you know. He didn't make life miserable for those people. And, you know, I'm at my wit's end as to what to say here. But there are a lot of people waiting to come on here, and maybe they can double down on what I've said, maybe express in a better way what needs to be expressed than I have here. So let's go to them. We're going to bring them in, all of them now. Here they come. There's Charlene, and Brian Neary's somewhere there. I don't know where, and we're looking at him sideways and whatever. And hey, there's Kevin, and here comes Charlie. I guess a lot of you people aren't used to me doing this early, so, you know. Hello, everybody. How are you?
You know, Alex, I saw that thing that you just played with Bernie today.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was so great. You know, when I saw it today. I couldn't believe it. He was right up, spot on.
Well, you know,
Insult-
it's not that he's he's a socialist. This is just good, decent thinking about how people should treat other people.
right.
You know. Jeff's trying to come in here. Let's see how long it takes for him to get audio. Anyway, I mean, what's happened in the last couple of days is just, I don't know.
Utter fucking chaos.
Well, it's a destruction of the American democracy.
The man is out of control. Exactly what you're saying is exactly what I've been thinking for the last day and a half.
Now, maybe I'm wrong. Like
No,
I
you're
said,
not.
maybe I'm
You're
wrong.
not.
Maybe I'm nuts. Maybe I'm just, you know. But
Nope, I
it
don't
just
think
so
so.
upset me, you know. What is Bree eating this time?
You know, they said they're bringing all those troops down to the border so no Mexicans will come across. I don't know who's going to rebuild Malibu and the Palisades and all
Fighting
those
the
areas.
fires. And then Dave Chappelle said Trump wants to make sure that when they come to fight the fire, make sure Trump wants them to go back, right? Did you hear that?
Yeah. But you know, I mean, it's really terrible. What you know,
It's sad.
the idea of these executive orders. I mean, a lot of them aren't going to hold. You know, one of them that's not going to hold at all is the one about he wants people who were born here but of foreign parents to have to go back. And the fact is, that's against the Constitution. There's an amendment saying anyone born on American soil is an American citizen.
Isn't that all of us? All our parents from somewhere else?
Well, you know,
Our
I
grandparents?
was thinking about it the other day. You know, maybe I have to go. You know, because my father, I think my father became a citizen. I seem to remember him voting and doing things like that. So I think he was a citizen. My mother was certainly a citizen. She was born here, but both her parents were from Europe. So maybe it goes back to my mother who would have to be deported, you know, and me as a result of that.
It's a demonstration of what Trump does not know. He has no idea what he's doing. He's got those EOs on his desk like they're memo paper, and he's just wrapping them off. I mean, some of the things are so broad. What did he say in one of them? 78 Biden accomplishments, or whatever you want to call them, are all just, you know, done.
Yeah.
Why do you just make a blanket 78? You know, if you're going to do every single one of them or pick them out. It's just like the letting these guys out of jail.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same
There was
thing.
one.
And on
There
top
was
of
one.
it, he said that, I'm sorry, I'm talking.
Yeah.
He said that he was going to let, you know, go on a case by case basis. And he did not even think about doing that.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's
No, he
full of
didn't do
shit.
it on a case
And
by case.
Now, in my area here already, we've got a rancher up back in the hills that's lost 4 or 5 of his Mexican workers that keep the cattle in line and sleep out in the middle of the boonies to keep his llamas and his his cattle and everything in line. And they decided they're going home before he gets to them.
Wow.
But now he's complaining because he has no workers, but he voted for Trump. Again, this is what I'm trying to tell you. When I was working the election, I mean, what he did today to those people that were hurt in the J6, I felt in a small way, because I'm an election worker. And what did he constantly say about us working the election? We're a bunch of cheats. I'm in a little county in the middle of nowhere out here in California, but I still work the fucking election.
And you've done them
That
many
guy-
years in a row, too.
I've been doing it for almost 20.
Yeah.
And this guy sits there and says that I was cheating. Well, kiss my ass, motherfucker. Sorry.
Yeah.
You know, and he did the same thing to those people at the Capitol, those guys that got killed, hurt, squished in the door. Oh, but these guys have been in prison many years, and they need to be released now because they're going to be in there for a long time and they've been hurt. What the F is that?
You know, I don't know what the guy's name is, but I also brought up this guy that he also pardoned that had this on, you know, he had a black site in which they sold drugs, in which they sold computer programs to hack and things like that, and he got life in prison. It was, what he did was so bad they gave him life in prison. Trump just pardoned him.
Which tells you exactly what he's doing. He's not reading anything. You could probably put a frickin' Netflix subscription for life in front of him and he'd sign it for you.
Well, that's what I was going to mention.
No, wait a minute. Somebody had their hand up first, okay? And that's Charlie, and then I'll get to you, Bree.
All those
That's
senior
all right.
citizens that voted for Trump, I wonder how one of the executive orders he signed was to rescind Joe Biden's executive order that reduced the copay charges for people on Medicare.
Right.
That's gone.
Well, it was a prescription.
Our drug costs are going to go up.
It was the prescriptions that thing that Biden did.
A donut hole deal.
Yeah, well, it wasn't even the donut hole deal. I think it had a lot to do with the what do you call it, the blood thing you get when people need to take insulin.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, diabetes.
Brought the price of insulin.
$35 maximum. That's gone.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
gone.
that's what he. I didn't know that either. So
That was part of Biden's executive order. And,
Yeah.
can't
and
keep
Trump-
track of the guy. He's out of control.
all the senior citizens, our drug costs, our prescription drug costs are going to skyrocket.
Yep, that's what's getting me upset.
Yeah. Let's go to Bree. Bree?
Well, I was just going to say, there's a clip where he asked, "What am I signing?" And
Yeah.
they
Yeah,
tell
you're
him,
right.
You're recording, and he went, "Ooh!" It's like he was given a dessert menu at the restaurant.
Yeah, and
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
That was take one of these.
That was embarrassing. I mean, it's really, it's just, okay, so you're the new
Oh,
guy.
it was removing us from the World Health Organization.
Yeah,
that-
yeah.
He removed. It's like, oh, what am I signing? Oh, you're removing us from this very important organization. In case there's a pen. Oh, I'm removing us. Ooh.
Yeah. I think it was WHO, wasn't it? The World Health
Yes.
Organization.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
I mean, it's horrible. It's just absolutely. It pales beyond comparison to anything that's ever happened in my lifetime in this country. In one day.
The good thing is that they're executive orders. They don't mean a lot. They do mean something, but they're all going to get challenged. And what's that going to do? That's going to just clog up Congress
Challenged
and
by
the courts.
who? By what?
Oh, they'd be
By the
challenged
Democrats, obviously.
already. A lot of the states' attorney generals are filing against Trump on this.
Yeah, 22 states.
Birthright naturalization. Yeah.
If Trump wants it, then it will happen. And I'll give you an example. The TikTok ban was supposed to go into effect, according to the U.S. Supreme Court. It has not. Why? Because Trump's not going to enforce it. He has Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi is his enforcer, essentially.
But
So he can just say,
isn't he required?
Oh, Congress. No.
Isn't he? Wait a
Congress
minute.
has
Isn't
that
he
law?
required by law? If the Supreme Court judges something, can he overturn it?
He doesn't have to. He can sidestep it. It's the differences between. It's been written about for years between an imperial presidency or the imperial presidency. We are now under the ultra imperial, and he's proven it again and again. He can sidestep. He has a way. What he does best of all is he exposes the flaws within our system. He exploits them.
Yeah.
And he's very good at that. So, I mean, give him credit for
Is it
showing
that
us.
he's good at it, or when they're handing him those executive orders to sign? some of them he didn't even know what he was signing.
That's right.
You know, and the question is, are those executive orders, were they created by him or were they created by a committee who decided this is what we're going to do, you know? And that he doesn't, because he's very lazy. I can't believe he came up with all of these on his own.
Right.
Yeah,
It's Project
2025. Yeah.
We knew this. This is not anything we didn't know.
And he said
We
he wasn't
know.
going to use it, and he's using it, and it's exactly what he does. Lies through his frickin' teeth.
Yeah, yeah.
And he'll lie until you believe it.
No, he didn't. He said he didn't read it. That's not a lie.
No, he said he was
probably didn't
disconnected
read
from it. He wasn't going to touch it. He didn't know anything about it.
I never heard that part.
Yeah, I did.
Me either.
Yeah.
I just heard he didn't read it.
Yeah.
He's very careful. You
He
have to listen.
disassociated himself from it.
Yeah. Well, you know, this
But he's
is,
still, either way, he's freaking lying.
well, you know, I mean, you know, I've seen a lot of, there have been presidents that I haven't liked, you know,
Yeah.
and that I felt weren't good presidents. George Bush being one of them, okay, as an example. But I didn't think of him in the way I think of Trump. He wasn't trying to wholeheartedly ditch the democracy. You know, he was he respected the democracy. He respected the presidency. He just didn't have the same politics I had. You know. But I just think about, you know, am I just too naive? Am I just too much of a do-gooder? Am I a too woke? Okay, or is this really bad? You know,
Really bad, Alex. It's really bad.
you know.
It's bad to the people that didn't vote for Trump, and I go back to my whole thing on the election. And again, I always throw this off about me being in a little county in California, nowhere, but the stuff that I saw going on for voting and people standing in line 45 deep to re-register as Republican, and having people come in and having notepads where the husband says, okay, here's your notes, go in, and they go in and vote. You know damn well half of these people didn't normally vote, and they were going in and voting. But you put that into a perspective of the whole United States, and maybe that was going on everywhere. You got one person that's getting 2 votes. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, there's probably wives that never voted or didn't vote, or they didn't know how to vote or didn't want to because they weren't informed. Yet someone was coming in there and saying, here, take this list and check all the right boxes. And I saw it. But
yeah.
was that happening in other places across the country? If it happens enough times,
Well-
you get the majority.
Don Giller on our chat writes, I'll say this once, ranting accomplished nothing. Or accomplishes nothing, and I agree with you. And when he won the election, I said we really shouldn't talk about him because it accomplishes nothing. But the point is, it does accomplish something. It lets us vent.
That's right.
And that is, I think, important to our sanity. And then from there on in, we can take it from, you know, where we are, you know. So.
Well, and, yes, I agree with you. But here's the other thing. We were talking in the chat about whether he steps down in 4 years, and I think it's entirely up to him. First of all, do you think J.D. Vance will do the same as Mike Pence? J.D. Vance will go into Congress and he'll say, yeah, Trump gets another 4 years, no problem. I'll sign up for that.
Yep.
And I don't know what mechanisms exist to enforce that or not, but he told us that he would. So if he wants to, he can stay. That's the way I see it. And he can break any law he wants. He's immune to that. And he can pardon anybody who enacts anything on his behalf. In theory, if he wanted to take, revenge in any way, shape, or form on anyone, he's free to do so now. he has a clear path if he chooses to use it. He can.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the scary part.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there's always a scary part. You know,
Yeah, but no other president that we know of has ever taken advantage of these situations.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And he's done it. And like Bree said, it's kind of good that he's exposing all the problems and the holes in the system, but you know, what's going to happen between now and the time they get fixed?
Mm-hmm.
And do you see a lot of the people are shifting to him? Bill Maher, you know, he sort of jokingly says, by the way, it's my writers who were saying that stuff. I'm with you now. And the Young Turks, they veered over towards him. Everybody is sort of moving in that direction, you know, because they don't want to be, they read the tea leaves. They can understand. If you go along, you'll get along.
Which is the reason you see all those oligarchs in the background at the
Yeah.
inauguration. Every one of those people, I bet you all but two of them would have gone to that otherwise. Otherwise, you know, Microsoft wasn't even supposed to show up, did he? I did believe he did.
Yes, he did.
Microsoft.
Okay.
No,
Yeah.
Microsoft didn't. Microsoft didn't.
He did not.
Right.
No,
Gates.
no, good for him.
I thought you said the three richest people were there. That would be Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, and Elon Musk.
No, Gates wasn't there.
No, Gates wasn't there, but Tim Cook
But
was.
He isn't the CEO of Microsoft anymore, is he?
Oh, okay. Well, the CEO of Microsoft is there then. The three richest people in the country, that's what Bernie said. They were there. They owned
Well,
all
that's Musk, that's Bezos, Musk, and Ellison.
Ellison was there too. Ellison
Yeah,
was
but
there
those
too.
are the three richest, aren't they?
The three richest in America are, I believe, Ellison. I think is fourth. Oddly enough,
Okay.
I think it's of course it's Musk. He's got 400 billion.
Right.
Followed a long way behind by
Bezos.
Bezos. I think is third. Oh, maybe he's second. Anyway, it
He's
doesn't
second.
matter. It doesn't matter.
Remember those two guys were neck and neck for a little bit, you know? Like
Yeah.
one day one would be, and one day
Oh,
the
it's-
other one would be.
Well, I think
Musk,
it's interesting,
Bezos, and
what-
Zuckerberg.
What
Musk, Bezos, and Zuckerberg.
Ellison.
Birds Morton. Okay.
I think
Yeah,
it's
Larry
interesting. I
Ellison
think it's interesting
and
what
then Mark
what Bernie
Zuckerberg.
Sanders said, that since the election, these three people have gained a total of like $150 billion.
233.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Elon alone has gained over $100 billion since
And
November.
he's on his way out because watch, he talks shit about that $500 billion thing that they did yesterday. And he talked, he said that Altman doesn't have the money, or they don't have the money. The other guy, the Chinese guy, I think it was, he doesn't have the money to take care of that new project that they just announced.
Mm.
And so now Musk is talking crap about Trump. You know what's going to happen next week? We're going to read about Musk being out.
There was a thing.
No more office in the.
There was a thing on Drudge tonight that said that he's on his way out. You know.
There you go.
That Nazi salute alone should have been enough to cancel his ass.
Yeah.
Two. He did two.
Yeah, he'll still be there. He's got enough money. He'll never truly go away.
But what
I'd
happened
never
with
buy
Trump?
a Tesla. You couldn't pay me to drive a Tesla.
Remember when Trump said
Tell me
the
what
first
happened.
day I'm president, I'm going to make a phone call and the war is going to be done.
Yeah, I don't
Yep.
see that done yet.
He goes, I hate seeing all these people dying over there. He's almost crying about it.
Millions and millions.
Look how cheap
Oh, yeah,
eggs
the
are now.
wars are over.
Look
What
how cheap
wars?
eggs are now.
Excuse me, folks. I'm having to do something here because hold on a second. Say that. Because Amy is out of Texas and somewhere else, I think in Oregon, And she needed a security thing that she had to use, but she didn't tell me what she had to use, and so I'm having to sit here dealing with it while I'm on the air, and she knows
Oh,
I'm
that's
on
fine.
the air, and you know, I'm on the air. I shouldn't have to do this right now.
Don't do it.
Sounds familiar.
Who's Henry
Okay, no,
Jacobs?
thank you.
Yeah, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Let me just put my face up here so we can see if this person is anybody we want to put up. There we go. There's
Is it
Henry
Don
Jacobs.
Giller again?
No, it's Henry Jacobs, if it's Henry Jacobs, but I don't. Oh, boy. Oh, criminy. Oh, boy. Mm-hmm. Well, folks, I guess I have to go back and get my people from. I pushed the wrong thing to get rid of it, but we got rid of it. There's no doubt about that. Let me see here. Where are we? Where is Zoom? There we are, and I will bring in Zoom again. And please, guys, if you're out there, call me back. You know, okay, admit Kevin. Okay, and admit there's Kevin, and there's, let's see here, Brian, Charlene Martinez.
They just don't stop.
What happened is I accidentally hit the wrong button to get rid of him,
That's what I figured.
and I got rid of all the people that were on on the panel. Okay, admit. Okay, there we go. Admit. Okay, we got almost everybody coming back here. Admit. Tony's with us this time. Let's see, Alan. Okay, I think that's
Was
it.
that Phil calling again?
Oh boy, I'm sorry. You know, that happens every now and then, but we take care of it. Okay, let me get you guys back on here. Okay, there they are, folks. Now we have a citizen panel again. We all came back really fast. You knew something had happened, right? You just gave it a try. Good. No, but as I say,
Alex,
I was so between that happening, okay, and Amy asking me for a security code. I mean, why she didn't do this earlier in the day and try it and get it to work is beyond me. Okay.
Sounds like Jack Bishop.
No, she always does this. She waits till I'm on the air trying to do a show, you know. Anyway, where were we? It's just, you know, it's embarrassing to have a president like this. It is just embarrassing.
It really is.
He is such an oaf, you know, and he's such a. He'd be funny if it wasn't sad, you know. Be a great comedy act. I'd love to see it. I pay money, good money, to see this comedy act.
Right.
But I don't want it in running my country.
Right. That's the problem.
And what's happened is, what has happened in America is that Americans have gotten so used to reality shows, they don't really know what reality is.
Exactly.
And anybody that runs a campaign like he did, oh, here's another message from Amy. I did yesterday, scroll up. I think I sent another, oh, God. Just, Amy, just leave me alone. I got a show here to do. Gosh. Where were we? What was I saying? I forgot completely what I was
The
saying.
reality TV actor.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Tony, we don't have your picture.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, lucky us. Oh,
Lucky us, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you want to see it. Hold on.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Admit there.
Hold on.
Okay.
I didn't realize it. There we go.
oh look,
Yeah.
it's Charlene.
Yeah. So anyway, so where was I? So what I was
The
saying.
reality TV actor.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Tony, we don't have your
Yeah.
picture.
that's
Sorry.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. You know, I mean, between what happened earlier and and Amy asking me all these questions while I'm doing a show, you know. No, I didn't see any of your other messages, Amy, because you didn't send them, because I would have gotten them on my phone, on my watch if you had. Okay? So, I'm sorry.
I love the way you hold up your wrist and you point to your watch that's not even on your wrist.
It is on my wrist.
Real
Oh,
fresh.
sorry. I didn't see it come up far enough. Never
Michael
mind.
entered the waiting room. Good, he can stay there.
Yeah, no kidding.
Alex,
Mm-hmm.
were you, I mean, I hate to change the subject, but what about that minister thing? Were you going to get into that too before you ended the show?
Into what?
You know, that woman
Oh no,
that was at the
there was
inauguration?
they had a prayer service at the
Right,
National
right.
Cathedral.
Wasn't very entertaining.
No, it wasn't.
But he got mad and he says she has to apologize. I couldn't believe that
Why
one.
should she have to apologize?
I know, that's what I feel about it.
She was
Why would
speaking-
she apologize to
She
him,
was
right?
speaking from the
Because she's-
pulpit, and she had in her audience somebody who should listen to what a person of good faith thinks. You know, I don't think there was anything wrong with what she did. I think she didn't know how she could get up there and not do it.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
put yourself in that position. It's not that you want to get even with Trump. You want to say, hey, Mr. President, be good to these people, you know, treat these people right. I mean, it was not waving her finger in his face. But, you know, he can't stand anything like that. You know.
She's a Trump hater, he says, and she has to apologize.
She has to apologize for what?
That's what he
Right.
said.
I'm so glad she
For
said
creating
that.
an awkward situation.
Mhm.
For creating an awkward situation?
Made him feel uncomfortable.
Good, I'm glad she made him feel
Oh, poor
uncomfortable.
thing.
I can't stand him, Alex. He's awful. Oh my God.
I'm
What's
just
he
so
gonna
glad
do
the guy
next?
missed.
It
What's
doesn't
he gonna
matter.
do next?
So horrible.
Locally here, ICE is in San Francisco today.
Mhm.
Yeah, we got people.
Oh, that's what he's gonna do. He's gonna be the TV thing that he'll be showing them up, rounding up
Oh,
people.
well, it's just news. I mean, they're just going, looking around. It's not, it's 20 or 30 people,
Mm-hmm.
ICE agents, and, they'll round up a couple people and claim success.
4 years for this guy. 4 years.
Couple.
It's not possible.
You know what? I'm gonna
to
tell you
remove
something. I don't
20
want to.
million people.
Can I say one thing? I don't mean it, and I wish I was wrong about this. Remember when we were talking about the primaries and Don Giller called in and I said, she never won the primaries. I remember Giller saying, that doesn't mean anything. She lost.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I wish I was wrong, but I was right.
She
They
lost.
should never handpicked her. They should never have pushed her out. They should have had the people vote on it. He would have lost to a man.
Nope. He wouldn't have lost because the guys would have run with the same platform, and the people she lost because people wouldn't vote for her because she started pushing the government. I mean she brought all these rich people on saying how she wasn't going to change anything. She'd be great for corporations. So all the people who were so excited about her in July and August left and wasn't going to vote for her again.
I actually think that the people felt they didn't get to pick her. They chose her for us, and they didn't like that, Charlie. He already
People were
lost.
happy with her until she started putting what's his name, Mark Cuban, out there talking about how great she was going to be for corporations.
I told you, don't
now
believe
wait a
the
minute.
polls.
Now, I heard something earlier, and let me clear this up because here's another message from Amy. It worked. Oh, good, Amy. I'm glad it worked. Oh boy. I mean, I'm trying to do a show here, and I can't keep my mind on the show because I'm having to keep my
Amy
mind
use
on my
Zoom yet,
on my
or she's
wrist
still
going off
using
constantly.
Skype?
So anyway,
Guy.
what?
No, you're kidding me.
What?
Like, I didn't even know that still works.
His mind?
Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, somebody here said, and it was on the side of my ear while I was trying to type things to Amy and so on and so forth, that what people were kind of speaking on his behalf, they were for him, like Mar. What did Mar say? I I watch Mars show.
Yeah, he said, I mean, he was facetious to a certain extent,
Huge.
but behind the joke was, I don't know, it's like one of those things where he's not unaware that things can happen. But yeah, let's see. But yeah, I mean, it was facetious. It was joking.
And what was it? The other show, the Young Turks. You
The
said.
Young Turks.
Young Turks, yeah.
What did they
definitely
say?
are.
What did they say?
They
I
are in
watch the Young
favor
Turks
of
every
Trump.
day.
with
They are not
populism.
on the Trump bandwagon.
And
I watch
anything
Young
he does.
Yeah, well, but I
Every
got to tell you, what's his name? The guy that's the head turd there. What's his name?
Yeah.
Oh, what's that thing?
Huh?
Yeah, remember he's been serious. He was like,
What?
Yes,
What
that's
an
it, yeah.
absolute jerk that guy is. I
you know,
got to
he
tell
does
you.
AMC, TMC now, Alex. I can't believe he got that gig. I think.
What?
Yeah, it's he. I think he does the introductions to the movies now. I think that's him.
Oh, you're thinking of Ben Mankiewicz.
Oh, that's the guy.
Yeah.
Then I'm sorry. Okay.
Ben Mankiewicz used to work with that guy.
Oh, I got him confused then. Yeah.
He's off doing TMC, like you said.
Yeah. So he.
Tony, have another cup of coffee.
I can't.
You bet not. Yeah.
You're
So,
not
so
the
you're
same
saying
person.
the Young Turks didn't say good things about Trump, right?
No,
No, they are saying good things.
What?
No,
Yeah,
only
wait a
thing
minute.
they
Now
said
wait a
was
minute.
he ran a great campaign. He talked about things that people were interested in, but he's not doing any of that shit now. And all the stuff he ran on, he's not doing any of that now.
Well, day one, he was supposed to solve Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
The price of air.
Well, this is day two already, and he hasn't even mentioned the
Yeah,
Ukraine.
it was metaphorical. I said day one,
No, I
Day
don't care.
one means
Listen,
the
you
first
say day
year
one,
in
you
his
mean
life.
day one. All this other stuff he did on day one.
Yep.
He freed the hostages. Remember?
He freed the hostages on day one.
Yeah, he did.
He
Bullshit.
said he was going to make a phone call and the Ukraine war would be over.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
I want to see that happen.
No, it hasn't happened yet. Nobody's
Somebody
calling.
needs to dial the number. I don't know if he knows how to work a phone.
Well, I think will somebody get the phone number for Ukraine, please?
Or Ukraine.
I mean, it's just.
I'm here.
I have a
Trump's
different-
on the phone. You
I
want
have
to
a
talk to him? No.
I have a different outlook on why Kamala didn't win. Because she's a woman.
Yeah, that totally.
I think it's unfortunate because I'd like to live. I'd like to.
I think
alive when a woman
think it was a problem with the positioning of the Democratic Party in the whole race, and the fact that they were the kind of thing that most average people don't like, which is a certain snobbishness about your beliefs. I thought she had great thoughts. I liked her a lot,
Absolutely.
all of that. But if I
Absolutely.
were on the outside of that, looking in at her, I would think, she's too woke, okay? She's too this, she's too that.
Yep.
And, people don't know what's good for them, And handing this government over to this guy is amazing to me. It's amazing to me because the guy is a criminal, he's a felon. He should have never been allowed to even run. His party should have never encouraged him to run.
The Dems really fucked that up. They should have been pushing for his kid instead of the sex one with in the New York case. They should have been pushing the other case right front and center.
Well, he kept putting roadblocks in front of everything. He kept trying to play out the clock, and he apparently did. I mean, this guy, I'm not saying he should be in jail for what he did, because people who do what he did don't normally wind up with a jail sentence, but they certainly do get a fine or they get a probation or something. And none of that did he get. Why? Because he became president of the United States, and I guess the old saying that nobody is above the law is wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. There are people who are above the law. There always have been people who've been above the law, and Trump is one of them.
Yep.
And if I have any kind of appreciation of Trump, it's what kind of a conniving son of a bitch he is and gets away with it.
Yeah, he is definitely. Let me ask you a question, guys. Alex, if I went into the city right now, right,
Mhm.
and tried to attack a cop and bash him over the head, would I get a pardon and get sprung out of jail?
No,
No,
no, no.
But that's okay.
no.
Well, maybe
That's
if
what I
you
was saying
said I
today.
love Trump, you
Unless I
would.
say I'm doing it in valor of Trump, because then maybe he comes and gets me.
Yeah, but you see,
If it were
here's the thing.
That's the
legitimately so.
madness.
Here's the thing, that it's important to note that. Now I forgot what I was going to say. I get so wrapped up in the warm up to what I'm going to say that by the time I get to say it, I forget it. You know that feeling, Charlie, right?
I sure do.
I get it.
It's worse every day.
I
Yeah.
do too.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Get it myself.
No, it's just that it makes me sad that this is what we've become. That we don't that people do not see this guy for what he is, and that no matter how
A lot of them do.
huh?
I think he's right, Brady.
A lot of them do. See, Alex, my theory is, and I've said this before, that this is it's a revolution that was possible. It's like you don't have a choice, so you pick the choice that's gonna, just be absurd. That's, to me, I just think that's what a lot of people do. They're just like, they want to change, they don't care how it happens, and so they just, and there's only Coke and Pepsi available. So if there's only Coke and Pepsi available, and what are you going to do? You are forced to pick Coke and Pepsi. So you just take the Coke and just shake it and just let it move. That's how I see it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, we got to stick with this for quite a while. And I'm sorry that I am so upset about it. I shouldn't be. I agree with Don Giller that it's talking about it isn't going to help the situation, but it's certainly going to make us. It's a catharsis. Okay.
Yeah.
We,
Ignoring it's not going to help either.
huh?
So ignoring the situation is not going to help either.
Well, okay, ignoring it is not going to help, but what is not ignoring it going to do?
We really have no power to do it.
Yeah, what he's trying to do.
I mean, isn't it better for your own peace of mind to just turn your brain off for about 4 years and come back for the next game of this?
I
Well,
pray for a heart
if
attack.
that's true,
Huh?
that may not be true. He may go on, for a longer time period.
Yeah, it's going to be more than 4 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's allowed
He
to.
didn't want to leave last time.
He is not going to.
Right.
He
He
may
might
not
not
last the 4 years. Okay, I mean, look at him
Hopefully.
now. He can't stay awake. I mean,
Yeah, but he's setting up a situation where whoever's the president gets to stay.
well, I don't.
Remember.
I'm just wondering if we can do that because a lot of this is embedded in the Constitution. You have to run every 4 years. Now
There's
Only so far.
let me give you one scenario.
Mhm.
Elon Musk becomes Speaker of the House, which he is allowed to do. Trump steps down and JD Vance becomes president, and Elon Musk then becomes vice president.
He can't do that.
He can't do that.
He
He's
can't
not-
do
he's
that.
not.
They would have to bypass. They would
Good.
have to bypass Speaker of the House and go to the next step, because Elon Musk can. A foreigner cannot become president of the United States under any
That's
conditions.
Vice president, I said.
Vice president is
It's
same.
the
I
same
think.
thing. Vice president's the same as the president.
He cannot be elected, but can be through the process be,
I wish we had.
submitted.
I wish we had Josh Wheeler on here tonight.
and then who?
Because
who
he's
would
our
enforce-
constitutional guy.
That's
Trump has already shown. Yeah, Trump has already shown that he is the enforcer in chief. If he says, "Hey, Pam, we're not going to enforce this one," okay.
He's the guy.
Yeah.
King.
So
Well,
that's how it could.
I don't.
happen.
I don't think that'll happen. I don't think that can happen. He is no. Yes.
A lot of things
yes,
you
yeah.
don't think.
Yeah, yes,
It
Jeff.
actually happened.
Jeff? Wait a minute.
You're
Your
muted,
microphone's off, Jeff. Your microphone's off, Jeff.
You're muted, Jeff.
Jeff, you're muted. Well,
Yeah, keep talking.
you're
Nope.
muted, Jeff.
Nope, can't hear you.
Let me see if I can unmute. Ask him to unmute.
How's not?
There you
There
go.
you go.
Okay, what
There
were you
you
going
go.
to say?
Sorry, guys. I think if we think about, what was it, about 4 years ago, maybe a little longer, when Trump really tried to run over the whole idea about how the president was, and he didn't give a shit about whether it was legal or not legal.
Can I
he's
say
a-
this,
a
Jeff?
crook.
Jeff, he wasn't as sophisticated about it as he is now.
Oh,
He
I
had been
understand
he
that.
had been president once, so now he knows what the roadblocks are.
Right.
But he also
And he cleared
maybe
them
knows
all.
how to go beyond what the rules were. Okay? He's supposed to have 4 years, and then after that, he's done.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't believe that
No.
necessarily.
No, he doesn't
How
believe it.
long he needs a third term?
The
It's
movie
good.
He has
Civil War.
told us.
The
He said you
idea
didn't have to
of,
vote again.
the idea of 2 terms as president only began with Washington because he only served 2 terms. Then years passed and FDR came along and he said, well, I can run as many times as I want to. And he ran for 4 terms, was
4 of them,
elected to
right.
4 terms. The fact of the matter was, though, that I don't know if is it ever been embedded in the Constitution that it has to be only for 8 years?
Yeah, that was the amendment that was passed for the Constitution after FDR.
After
And
FDR,
because of
okay,
Right.
all right. I just wanted to make sure that they had
Yeah, he
passed.
didn't think it was good for the
Nobody
country, he
else
said.
be elected
Yeah.
so many times.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said it was bad for the country, right, to have somebody for 4 years, right?
Oh, I think it's bad to have somebody for 4 years. I think we should do it for 6 years, and that's it. You know, do the same thing as a senator. You know, 6 years, great. That's it. See you later. Take a hike. You know, Don, how you doing?
Could come again, right?
I'm sorry.
How are you doing, Don?
Oh, just great.
Happy.
I'm here because I want to respond to something that Tony had said.
Yeah.
I think that your argument is you're going to find this insulting, and I don't mean it to be insulting.
Believe me, Tony has been insulted so much on this show, Don.
It's a sloppy argument because you haven't proven any causation that that because Harris was not in any primaries, that's why she lost.
No, she was in the primary, Don. She was finishing dead last. That's my point. That's
No,
proven.
no. That wasn't.
That was 4 years ago.
Yeah, but that's what I'm going off of. When they were
No,
first
that was 4
reviewing
years
money,
ago.
she was finishing at the bottom. That's proven fact.
Yeah, but you don't know that if she hadn't had to go through the
That's
primary.
irrelevant.
You don't know that
Well,
if she didn't.
how can that be irrelevant if
Tony,
she was-
Tony, you don't know that had she run this time going through the primary system, she
Okay.
wouldn't have won it. You know?
I give you that. So we can't even say what she would have done because we don't know who she would have ran
And
against.
you can't
she
say
would have
that,
finished
that
last.
she lost because she didn't run any primaries this last year.
My point was, Don, that the people didn't get to pick the person. They chose her.
But it
That's
doesn't
right.
prove
That's my
that she
point.
lost because of that.
But
That's
she
what
lost
you're
4
arguing.
years
Wait a
ago
minute.
before that
First
time.
of
Am I
all,
correct
first
or
of
not?
all, Tony, these were extraordinary circumstances in which
He should have been a one-term
Hold
president.
on a
That's what
second.
he should have
Hold
been.
on a second. Biden ran in those primaries and he won them.
Yeah, that's not the point,
Wait a
though.
minute. Let me finish.
Yeah.
All of
yeah,
a
go ahead.
sudden, everybody wants him out because they don't think that he's capable of being president because he has certain mental deficiencies and so on and whatever. And so he decides to step down. And he said, my choice to take my place is Kamala Harris. And then all the states had to ratify that. just like it would have been a primary or whatever. They had to ratify that,
Well, they were
and
gonna
she
allow it.
she was made the nominee.
Well,
Had
you
they,
knew that
wait a
was
minute,
gonna
let me
be
finish.
made.
Had they not ratified it, then they would have probably tried to find somebody else.
But you know, they got behind the room, closed the doors, and they were all going to get behind her at that point. It was July.
But your argument that
July, I think
that
it was
you
August.
were right and I was wrong is weak because it's a hypothetical that
Well, to
cannot
you,
be
it's weak,
proven.
but she did lose 4 years ago in the primaries. That's what I was basing it on.
But then she was.
Biden,
That
Biden
doesn't
and
matter.
Don in the
Didn't you say she
primaries.
was going to beat Trump? And what did I say? She wasn't.
It doesn't
Guess I
matter.
was right.
That doesn't matter. Nixon lost, and
I'm just telling you.
You know.
Trump
Tony,
lost
will
4
you give me a
years
chance
ago.
to
Yeah.
complete a sentence, please?
Yeah, go ahead.
Biden did terrible in his primaries in 2008. Does that and Obama ended up picking him as VP. The Biden's failure in the primaries in 2008 has nothing to do with what happened later. Similarly, Harris's failure to gain anything in 2020 has nothing to do with 2024.
Well, to me, it has.
2024.
Well, to me, I'm going off with the first time she ran. I would have liked to see
I'll
her.
tell
a second
you,
time.
you're not listening
what I'm
to
saying
him.
then.
You're not listening to him.
No, I'm listening
Tony.
to him.
You're not listening.
And
to
I
him.
really don't care about his opinions because I would have liked to see her go a second time.
Well, I do care about his
I
opinion.
know, but it doesn't mean he's right because he's not.
He
I'm
is
not
right.
saying I'm right. I'm not saying you're. I am saying that you're not right because you haven't proven that.
Neither have you,
that-
Don. You haven't proven. All I'm going by is the other 4 years she
I haven't
ran.
claimed
Tony,
to
you're
prove
digging a
anything.
hole for yourself.
I haven't
Not
made
really,
any claims.
because I'm only going by the primary that she ran. I would have liked to see Don. Can I say one thing? I would have liked to seen her run again against other candidates. Then you can get.
But
to
it
me and see
wasn't
what you
possible, Tony, because that
Because
wasn't the circumstances.
Do you understand why Trump won?
Do you
They
understand
hit-
what the
That's
circumstances
what they
were at
did.
the time?
Tony, your argument that
Yeah.
and you referred to me was that I was wrong and you were right. Which you can say that. I don't care.
Well, no,
I've been wrong
because
1,000
you thought
times.
she was going to
Shut
win
up,
going
Tony.
away.
Let him
Tony,
finish.
shut up for a second.
Go fuck yourself. Don't tell me to shut up.
Listen,
Well, because you interrupt. You won't let people speak.
Yeah, I let you speak. You speak over me. Don't be so rude.
no,
What are you,
he's
my
not,
father?
not being rude. You're speaking over him, Tony.
No, I
Yes, you
understand.
are.
I understand.
Yes, you are.
When I'm being talked
Yes,
down.
you are. You're going to tell me to go fuck myself
I'm not
too?
talking you down. I'm explaining that objectively your argument is sloppy.
To you it is, but not to
But
me.
But she
it's a
didn't do
valid
something.
argument.
Oh, from the primaries till when Biden picked her, she was vice president. Also, more people got to see her. More people recognized her from the primaries. There's a lot of stuff that happened those 4 years, Tony. It wasn't
No,
just.
I
But
agree. Listen,
she never won an election for the post.
Right, right. Ray,
the point.
Ray, you got a comment at all here?
Well, I think that Tony's point of view is indicative of what a lot of people thought, and there
Thank
is a
you, Ray.
portion of people that did not vote for her because they thought exactly what he's saying.
Thank you, Ray.
Okay, now let me.
And I also understand what Don's saying, and it also makes a lot of sense.
Let me offer this. Until about the 50s.
$20 on your way, Ray.
Until about the 50s.
No, honestly, that's how I feel.
All right.
I don't know what you said, Don. $20? What?
No.
Do I get to talk on this
$20
show at
if
all?
You said that.
Do I get to talk at all?
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Until I think around the 50s, there was no such. The primaries happen very infrequently in various states. The primary system is not embedded in the Constitution.
No.
And before that, what happened was people went to conventions and they made a case for themselves, and then people voted for who they wanted to see be the standard bearer. There were no primaries. In fact, I'm against the primary system because it costs a lot of money to every state that holds it, and really, there's nothing in the Constitution that says we have to have primaries. Go pick your standard bearer for both sides and have them go up against each other. And by the way, while we're at it, we wouldn't be having these problems today if we had more than a two-party system.
Right.
Okay? Because if we had something like 3 or 4 party system, and then they got winnowed down to 2 people running in the end to face off against each other, the kind of thing that Trump has pulled off, he would have never been able to pull off in a 4-party system, for instance. Do you disagree with me, Giller?
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm looking up the history of the primaries.
Oh,
It wasn't
okay.
until after Truman that the primaries started, wasn't it?
No,
Well, yeah, and there was
There
different
were
systems,
primaries,
like
I
rank
think,
and
in
file
some
versus elite.
states prior to that, but
Oh,
it
okay.
wasn't the law of the land. It wasn't the way we chose our nominees.
Yeah,
Okay.
it says primary received its first major test in 1912.
Yeah, but that was not. But that was only like
Yeah.
one state or something like that.
Yeah.
You know.
But it seems that, let's see. I'm sorry, carry on.
No.
Yeah, I mean,
You know, but primaries are not. There's nothing in the
Yeah.
Constitution regarding primaries. They just don't exist in the Constitution. They're an affectation that we've created in present day. Yes.
72 is when things
Yeah.
tended to bubble up.
Okay.
yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Alan.
So everybody's entitled to their opinion here, and Alex lets that flow freely. But I think Tony owes Don an apology for telling him to go fuck himself for his opinion. That's my opinion.
No,
I think-
I
But
really,
Don
I think-
said, "Shut up."
I think you were out. No, you said
Well,
go fuck
I
yourself.
was pulling a Biden during his Trump-Biden debate.
Doesn't call for the words "go fuck yourself." I'm sorry. So
Did he say go fuck himself?
Yeah.
No, Biden said, "Oh, will you
no,
just
no,
shut
we're
up?"
not talking
Because
about
he
Biden. We're
kept on,
talking about
because
Tony.
Trump
and
kept
Don.
on interrupting.
Oh,
him.
Biden, yeah, said, will you
Yeah.
please shut up? Yeah.
But if that's the way Tony wants to go,
Tony, you're not going to
that's
give
his
an
prerogative.
apology, huh?
It's New York.
I'm sorry.
Thanks.
You guys
I
are
appreciate
both in New York, isn't that right?
Yeah, yeah. But
They're
I
busting
think-
each other's balls.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
everybody who's
They're
voting for
busting the
Trump,
balls.
I think everybody who's voting for Trump is going to vote for Trump no matter what. And the Democrats trying to bounce between anybody. I don't care if everybody voted for somebody and that was the nominee. It's still not going to stop all the Trump people right now.
Hey, and also, did you hear Trump admit that Musk fixed the vote in Pennsylvania?
They're trying to say,
What?
like, computer, yeah.
Yes.
He made kind of a joke type thing, I think.
I don't know. if they
Yeah.
can prove it.
But there's also the possibility that that happened. So we might be all way off here. Maybe he didn't even actually win.
Yeah, but he needed a lot more than just Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
I know. I know. I'm just saying that, there's other shit going on.
Somebody here wrote that multiple parties won't solve anything. You're wrong. It will prevent a Trump from pulling what he pulled off this time.
Well,
We
we'd
have
have
to change
No,
the
I
system.
think it would be worse.
You think
I think it'd be worse.
we'd have to change the winner takes all primary system.
I mean,
Right,
I'm
we have
not,
to-
I'm not suggesting that we have like 99 parties like they do in Italy,
Well, we have to get rid of the electoral college, and we also have to have
Yes.
the type of voting.
Of course,
What
you
is it like they
remember
have in
the,
France, where you have
remember,
the?
you remember what happened in California when they ran for governor
Yeah,
because
like-
they got rid of
there's like 50 something
there were
guys.
some
people on
50
the-
different
Yeah,
par-
well, that
50
was-
different individuals.
Schwarzenegger
And
and everyone
Schwarzenegger
else.
won by three votes. In fact, he got 3 votes. So. It was but that's how Schwarzenegger became governor. And then
He didn't get anywhere near the majority vote.
no. But I think in his second term, the second time he ran, he won. So, and he wasn't a particularly good governor, but he wasn't a horrible governor, was he?
No, he wasn't horrible.
Yeah, he wasn't horrible.
He just didn't know the ins and outs of politics of California,
Well,
which
you know,
are corrupt and
It's
full of.
kind of like I say,
shenanigans.
when your plumbing goes bad, you hire a professional plumber, don't you?
Yeah.
And when you send people off to Congress or the Senate, or you make them governors or whatever, you want people who know how the whole thing operates.
Not nowadays. You just turn on YouTube, how to fix your plumbing.
Yeah, right.
That may work for plumbing, but it doesn't work for
Yeah.
open heart surgery.
Yeah, yeah.
But who are the Democrats going to run in 4 years? They're going to beat the Republicans.
No, there is no. You keep thinking. That's so funny.
You know,
not
I was
There's
thinking
an
of,
election.
4 years.
Gavin Newsom.
Well,
I was
I mean, you
thinking
can't
about that.
assume
Yeah.
that there won't be an election.
And you
I'm
can't admit that
assuming
there
that
won't
there
be
won't be an
somebody
He
who
said you'll never have to vote again.
Vote
I
again.
Yeah.
Now, and you'll never have to vote again.
Charlie, I think he's saying that he's going to die in office.
By the
They
way,
even have
Charlie, when
elections in
he
Russia.
said that, when he said you're never going to have to vote again, I said, boy, what a relief. Yeah.
I was thinking about that today,
Yeah.
about who will the Democrats run, and the history of both Democrats and Republicans when their party loses, what happens in 4 years, and sometimes it's an established candidate like Mondale in '84, and which followed was somebody from out of the blue to caucus who got blown away, and then Clinton, who no one had heard of. So I suspect it'll be someone we've never heard of.
But like Obama, we never heard of Obama in 2000.
Yeah, well, but Obama made a name for himself
We
at
heard
the
of him.
Floor convention.
Yeah, like AOC.
Oh, no, I'll tell you what, quickly, the way Obama became president is Oprah Winfrey got on television and said, I think they should run Barack Obama for president. And that was all he needed.
I think it will be AOC.
Well, he gave a great speech too at the.
He gave a great speech. Yeah, I mean, he was. I thought he was a great politician. I don't know if he was a terrific president, but he was. He was. He was.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Amber Alert. Sorry.
Right.
Had this been an actual alert, you'd all be dead.
My ride's here.
AOC.
I thought it was Jerry
AOC.
Springer who promoted Obama.
No, it was Oprah, if you may remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I remember Oprah.
And when she said that, I said to somebody, he's going to be the next president because Oprah said so. I don't know. I don't know if she carries that amount of weight anymore because Kamala's going home to California to eat Jello.
Yeah, but Oprah was paid this time around.
Is that true? Was she paid to?
Hey, did you
Yeah,
talk about
she
Melania's hat?
She looked
Oh, the
terrible.
Hamburglar.
Oh, you mean Carmen San Diego?
Burglar.
Ridiculous. That I
That
saw
hat
that,
was
and I
something
like,
else.
Yeah, well,
I thought
did you see
somebody
when he tried to
put that
kiss
in.
her and it got in the
Yeah,
way?
yeah.
Good, hitting the brim of the hat.
Yeah.
The way she
I
wore
thought
it.
somebody used AI to superimpose that because I didn't think it was real.
Yeah, no, that's her real hat. Yeah.
That's a real hat. That's how you protect your borders.
Well,
A
that
hat
might
like
be
that.
a real hat.
Anyway,
But
there's a
we don't
theme.
know who was
There's
actually wearing
the
that.
theme going off. Thank you so much to Kevin for being here, and Charlene, good to see you. Brian, I don't know where you are. Oh, there we go. Oh, he's showing us his pussy. Okay, there we go.
What a pretty pussy.
Bree, thank you. Appreciate it. Some intelligent comments tonight.
Reason number 35 why women aren't on here.
Thank you so much, Charlie, for being here tonight, as well as Alan and Tony. Thank you.
Charlene is on here.
I said
Yeah,
Charlie.
no, sorry, Charlene. That was not.
No,
meant-
Don said there's no women.
Oh, no women. Yeah. No.
I'm
don't
not
want-
fussy like that. You
Oh,
don't have
well,
to worry.
Charlene is trans. Anyway,
Yeah,
Jeffrey,
female.
thank you. Don Giller, always a pleasure.
I love you, Tony.
Yeah.
It's all right, Don. I'm not mad at you.
And Ray, thank you, everybody.
You
I
bet.
think it'd be nice if you all kind of wave a big wave goodbye, and I'll give a big wave goodbye at you and tell everybody that that's it for tonight for our citizen panel. We'll have a new one again tomorrow night. Stay tuned for Amy. I hope she gets on okay. Amy Manuel, and she'll be doing her program, and you can call in on Gabnet Live at Skype. I'll see you tomorrow night, same time, same station in life. In the meantime, as always, if you see her, tell her I love her, okay? Bye-bye. Goodbye, everybody.
And now we can have a real chat.
You can have a real chat now. Now that we.
So I had a pacemaker replaced.
Oh,
I got a new one.
it says Avery has entered the waiting room. I bet it's a dirty
Oh.
one. Well, you could.
So how long is the recovery after you get a pacemaker?
How long? Oh, they can last.
Well, no, I mean the
years.
procedure itself. I mean,
Oh, it's unbelievable. 3 hours. And I'm 3 hours and I'm in the car going home.
wow.
Well, that's a
That's
pacemaker.
great.
Yeah, pacemakers are simple. Yeah.
You feel any
great.
different?
Change the 9-volt battery and move on.
That's
Yeah.
about it.
Right.
But there was some issue from Boston Scientific that some of their numbers didn't look as good as it used to be.
Wow.
And so I got a call I was in Florida and they said, come back to Connecticut and we'll fix it.